Hello, how is everyone? This might seem a bit late. I actually should have probably done this last weekend, but I didn't quite have my goals. I didn't really know what I wanted my goals or my New Year's resolutions to be for the year. And I finally have them kind of nailed down. And I'm excited to share them with you, hear what yours might be. I am someone, and I know if you don't like this kind of stuff, it probably is a little bit annoying, but I am someone that loves the new year. I love um, like the fresh start, and I don't really typically go crazy, and I'm actually pretty good about New Year's resolutions, but I like the fresh start. I always feel like the holidays are a lot. I love the holidays, but then by the end, I'm excited for them to be over and to move forward. And I think having New Year's resolutions as part of that is just something I really enjoy. And I am a goal oriented person. So I just thought it would be fun to come on here, share with you guys what I'm doing, my goals. I see some wonderful comments. Wald just started OMAD at age 62. Yay, good for you. Hi, Valerie. So last year, coming into 2025, I made a vision board, and I didn't do that this year, although I feel like I probably would really love to do that. I like cutting this kind of stuff out. I have a lot of things in here about dreaming and joy, saving money. I had stuff in here, kind of a secret. I had pizza here, washer and dryer, the price is right, a golf bag, knowing that my Price is Right episode was going to come out. There's a lot of stuff on here. Hi, Tammy in Florida. So this is what I did last year. I wanted to play games. I wanted to hang out with my family. I wanted to enjoy the mornings, slow down a little bit. And so, I see hot dog walk. I sponsored that again. I did have I knew this was going to be hard, and I did not even get close to it, but 50,000 on Grocery Addict. But I have taken a step to be more intentional and active on my Grocery Addict channel. So I feel like I took steps towards that. Obviously, I cannot make the outcome happen. So I'm proud of myself for the effort. But I did get to go to DC. I went to New York City. We hit the 100,000. I didn't do devotions every single day. I wanted to. I failed at that part. But I feel like as I reflect, I wasn't 100%. Oh, here's another one. Reduce, reuse. I wanted to not buy new clothing for 2025. I was so close. I wasn't perfect, but I did this very good. Even when I went to an expo and wanted business clothes, which I haven't gone to work and needed business clothes in almost a decade, I bought used. I did buy new like socks and underwear and a bathing suit bottom that was full coverage for our vacation. Just things that were really hard or you don't really want to buy used. And then I did buy 2 shirts from Aldi from their Aldi finds at the end of the year. So I wasn't perfect, but there was another one. No alcohol. I did not have any alcohol in 2025. And it was only for the year. I got my 100,000. I got, I think, probably pretty close to 10,000 steps a day, but I didn't keep it. I didn't track. But I am excited as I reflect upon the year. I feel like having goals, even if you don't hit 100% of them, it gives you something to work towards. And even just taking the time to set the intention or to be mindful of like what's important to you and what you want helps you as you make decisions. Even if you don't, I didn't only buy used clothes this year, but I bought way less new clothing than if it wasn't my goal. So that's part of what I really like about this. Tammy said started if intermittent fasting in July of last year, which is crazy to think 2025 is last year, lost 13 pounds, still working on my goals too. Yay. And I feel like even if you like New Year's resolutions, like I didn't solidify these until I set up this live, of course. And part of it was some of the things that I have goals around, I still don't like know exactly what the goal is, which kind of bothers me. But I was like, you know what? We're just going to let it be a general feeling of what I'm working towards. And then I also want to share one more thing. I feel like I've shared this on several videos, but this is a quote that I really love. It's in my office. I first read this my junior year in high school. Everyone had to find like a quote from a famous writer. And this is the one that I found. And it's honestly been a great summary of how I feel. So it says, go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you've imagined. It's from Henry David Thoreau. And It does go on to say more, but I love the idea of live the life that you want. So, like, I want to be a faster. I every day choose to fast. I want to travel and do stuff. So, I am seeking opportunities to travel with my family, to do the things that are important to me. If it's important to me to uh, encourage others to fast, I continue to make videos. So, the what you want in life, you have to confidently pursue it, is what this is saying. And don't just dream of the life you want. What can you do to make it happen? So, this is my favorite quote. And honestly, well before I did YouTube, well before I did fasting, this is something that has really encouraged me through college, through my grad school, everything. Applying for promotions. If I want something, I can go get it. It's not going to happen without me pursuing it. Is basically what I take from this. So I pulled this off my wall so I could share it with you guys. So it's kind of my, um, it's like a stepping stone for me enjoying goals and doing things. All right. So I have a resolution. My number one resolution I'm going to share kind of at the end because it's the one I'm most excited about. First, I'm going to share what I do not have goals around. I don't have a goal around weight, which this is probably the fifth year that that's not every single year. It used to be kind of weight loss related or, getting to a certain weight, losing a certain amount of pounds, that kind of stuff. But thankfully, I don't do that anymore. And that's all thanks to intermittent fasting. Because I've lost the weight and been able to maintain the weight loss, it's just, I don't even weigh myself regularly. And I don't really care if I can wear my clothes and I can enjoy the fasting lifestyle. If I weigh 147 or 153, wherever I fluctuate, the number just isn't important to me anymore. I am healthy. I've had a lot of health improvements and I love this lifestyle. So I'm going to just keep pursuing it and not worry about the number anymore. So I'm really grateful about that. And then I also don't have a previous goal or a previous resolution that I've set in the past. And I was trying to see, I couldn't remember if I did it last year. I don't have any number for amount of books I want to read. I used to do that where I'm like, I want to read 50 books a year. The thing is, and this actually really ties to the next one, I'm a reader. So I don't really know how many books I read last year, but I read so much that I don't have to like set goals for it anymore. It is so patterned into what I do. And I pretty much say that anything boring, vacuuming, cleaning, dishes can be made interesting or fun with an audiobook. So a lot of my reading is audiobooks. I 100% count that. But I've already read this year, I'm almost finishing my third book. And I don't have to set a goal for it anymore. It's like part of my identity. I read. I always like reading. So it seems silly to kind of set a goal for myself only because I do it so much that I don't have to incentivize myself. And the same goes for fasting. And I don't have any goals about fasting. It's no longer like a challenge of mine to do OMAD every day or to work to make it my lifestyle. I've been doing it 5.5 years and I honestly just feel like I'm a faster. So it's what I do. To set a goal to it would just kind of make what's peaceful and it's already done more work. So I don't have goals associated with a number of hours. I feel very good in my routine and I am a pretty disciplined faster at this point. I'm really good at shifting when I need to, prioritizing what's important to me. And so if I put some sort of arbitrary goal with it, it would be making something that I really enjoy hard. I am a faster. I don't have to convince myself of that. I don't have to have a goal and remind myself what I'm working towards. So I don't have any goals or resolutions about fasting. Now, if you're new, I think it could be really good to have goals or to hope like track the hours. I do still track on my watch, of course, but I'm saying as far as like to motivate yourself to push in the fast and to get into the routine, I think it could be really good. So I don't think fasting resolutions or goals are bad. I just think because I'm so far into my journey, it's just what I do. I don't even have to think about it. It's like I fast. So it is it's just not on my resolutions. I do see that there's a few more comments coming in and I'll get to more of the like chatty stuff afterwards. So I don't even think I'm ignoring it. But I feel like it'll be very like dee, 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 if I go to comments and then I talk. So FYI, I am easily distracted. So those are the ones that I would in the past typically I used to do a book goal, or maybe early on did a fasting goal. And then I don't know if I ever had fasting goals other than like keep doing it, but it's so ingrained in what I am. I'm a reader, I'm a faster. I don't make goals about them anymore. And I really don't care about the number of my weight. Like, yes, I don't want to like gain the weight that I've lost back, but I'm not concerned about the actual number. It's more about maintaining the fasting lifestyle. So I'm like so happy to be there. And if you're new in the journey, I 100% believe that you could get there too. So I have resolutions and then I have goals. So I kind of broke them out, and this is like my personal way I'm doing it. The goals are more something I want to strive for, but I don't have like a hard and fast, like, I know I did it or I didn't do it. It's just something I want to be intentional about. Um, and it really, I want to do more strength training workouts, but I don't want to put a number to it because I actually enjoy it when I do strength training workouts. But some of my days just look so different than others. So if I am traveling and I have like a resolution to do it 4 times a week, I don't want it to be something where I'm stressed out. I want it to be joyful, and I want it to be something I enjoy, and I don't feel like it's make or break. Like, I'm not going to have any health success if I don't strength train, but I want to do more of it. And this is a very personal thing, but if I put like, I'm going to do it this many times a week, and it's for the entire year, it's going to feel more chore driven for working out. And I would rather keep it enjoyable. I just would like to do more of it. Um, and then also, I really want to be, this is very tied to ADHD. Again, I get very distracted. Being self employed, I have really seen is very hard for me to be structured at work. When I worked for someone, or I am part of a group and there are expectations and deadlines, it's very easy for me to stay on task to achieve whatever set objective. I have to turn in the budget report at a certain time. I have to get someone's travel orders done. Like, all the things have deadlines and people expecting it. When I'm self employed and I turn it into myself, I am much more distracted and it's very hard for me to focus. I want to build a better rhythm of being in my office, um, and having time where, especially being in my home, I'm not like editing and then doing the dishes and then coming back to editing and then folding the laundry. It's very easy for me to hear the timer go off on something and to go do that and stop what I'm doing. It's it's just kind of chaos. And when it's me, myself, and I reporting to me, myself, and I just need to build a better rhythm. I don't know what that looks like. And that was one of my hesitations of my resolutions for the year. I'm like, should I put every day I'm going to be in my office from this time to this time? But then I'm like, well, if the kids have a doctor's appointment, it felt too hard to nail down a resolution. So my goal is to have a better work rhythm, and that includes regularly sending emails. I want to regularly update my website. I am paying a professional to make my website. We're starting this month. I can't even pretend that I'm not so excited about it, but I want to write more about my joy of food, with like the combination of Aldi and fasting. And some of them will be more geared towards the meal plan and Aldi shopping, and one might be more towards fasting. But a lot of them, I feel like there's thoughts I have about food in general and fasting. And so I think it'll be great to have a better website that can be a resource of recipes I'm using, or things that I'm doing. And I want to build a rhythm to update and to contribute regularly to my website. I don't have the website yet, so it's really hard to be like, I know it's going to be twice a week or I'm going to do this, and I don't know when it's going to be done. So like, if it gets done and I'm traveling, I don't want it to feel, I just don't want the pressure of like something I set up before it exists. I know that about myself. Again, a lot of this has to do with like knowing yourself and what's motivating or demotivating. So goals of working out more, and goals of and specifically strength training. I have a weight set. I have things that I actually really enjoy doing: kettlebell workouts, strength training. I like doing it. I just want it to be more in my daily life without a number, and then build a better work rhythm, being in my office more and not having it be ping ponging between home things and kid things and working. I want to treat it more like an actual job. So those are the goals. And then I have resolutions which have like hard and fast, I did it or I didn't do. Number one, I want to walk 5 million steps this year. I kept writing 500,000 and I'm like, that's really not like I've done 50,000 steps in a day before. That's only like 10 days. So 5 million is it's like roughly 13,000 steps a day. I love walking. I absolutely love it. And then there are days where I feel like I could choose to walk like while I'm editing at my sit stand desk and I don't do it. So this is something I love to walk. I have so many ways where I can walk. And then sometimes it's just easier to choose sitting and doing something. This will be a motivator for me. It is, I know it sounds contrary to what I said about strength training, but I walk so frequently. But there are days where it's like, oh, I could sit and edit at my sit stand desk, but I choose to sit down. Having a number that I want to hit at the end of the year is going to be a motivator for me to put on the boots and walk outside, to step on the treadmill. And I watch The Price is Right when I'm on the treadmill. It's not that I don't enjoy it, but sometimes it's easier to just not do it. Having a number will motivate me to make the choices to move more while I'm doing other things. I love walking. I just want to have a hard number that I'm going towards, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I am not doing well for the month. I'm going to tell you because I just added up. I haven't been wearing my step counter. At the beginning of the year where we were still off of school, you're kind of a couch potato. We did a lot of sitting and eating of cheese, as many do. But I'm just going to take the number in my health on my Apple Watch or my phone. So even if my phone was plugged in and I was walking, those steps haven't counted. But tomorrow, I guess, will be the first day where I'm going to be counting on hopefully having my step counter on me, reset every day. I just haven't been. So I'm only getting credit for the ones on my phone. I'm at, as of yesterday, 43,000, almost 400 steps. That's low compared to what I actually did because it only counts if I had my phone with me. But you know what? We're going to go for it. So I'm really excited to hit hopefully 5 million steps. And there will be days, I take my son to the park and I'll walk 30,000 steps while he's playing. And there will be days where I have a lot of editing to do and I might just sit under a blanket and get 4,000 steps for the day. I'm all right. I am more accumulative. 5 million steps is going to help me um, to have the highs, balance out the lows, but an overall goal. The aggregate is going to give me room for days of being sick, for really bad weather where I don't want to go out. That kind of stuff can be made up for when you have an aggregate goal. So 5 million steps for the year. And I'll probably end up having, some days where I maybe try to walk a marathon in a day or do stuff like that where it's really going to help buffer. So I'm actually pretty excited about that one. I know it sounds extremely at odds with what I said about strength training, but they're very different. Like to me, I don't know why. They're both, physical and exercise ish. But for whatever reason, putting goals with steps is motivating to me. And it feels, I think probably because working out has always felt like a weight loss thing or like a punishment. It's hard for me to continue anything like workout related without feeling like it's a punishment if there's a goal other than walking. I don't know why. I have a devotional. I was trying to see if I had it close by. Let me see here. Nope. I don't know. It's one of these. So I'm Christian. I want to do this with my friend. Oops, I have a broken nail. Sorry. But it's a planner and it has like a weekly devotional about prayer. And I'm doing it with a friend. And every single day you reflect. We are actually starting it Monday because we got it and it arrived and we both will have it Monday. So we're just going to start it. Basically, we're just going to do 52 weeks. So it'll end a little after the year, but that's a resolution of mine. And then the one I'm very, very excited for. Wait, did I? I feel like I had another one. Maybe not. Okay. I feel like I'm missing one for some reason, but the one that I'm very excited about, and this is my big old resolution, is to make a batch of cookies a week. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but when I was making my Christmas cookies last year, I made, Russian tea cakes and raspberry thumbprints and sugar cookies. And I love all of those cookies. And I thought, why, so as I'm having an OMAD and then I want a cookie like to close out my window, why do I have all 3 of these as an option instead of spreading out making cookies, you know? And we had cookies that other people had given us, and it just was like a fleeting thought. Why do I make it all at the same time instead of baking throughout the year? And I love to bake while fasting. I don't know if you've heard me say that before, but it's kind of the joy of food and something to look forward to. And in the past, when I was dieting, baking and cooking would almost feel like a tease because I would think, oh, I'm going to have one of these cookies or I'm making these and I won't eat any of them. And now in my eating window, I feel free to enjoy it how I want to. And like, this is an example, but I made cake pops 4 days ago. I haven't ate one. I like cake pops, but I just haven't had one. And if it was a rule or a diet and I couldn't eat it, I would have like felt triggered the entire time I was baking it. And then I would have ended up eating 50 of them. But now when it's strictly based on if I want it or not, there's just a lot of fun in making it because I know I'm free to enjoy it if I want to. Restriction just really does not work well for me. It is, I feel like rebelling against it essentially. So there's a lot wrapped up into this goal. I shared a lot about it on my Grocery Addict channel. If you ever watch over there, there's a live that I did yesterday where you can learn about that goal. But I am seeking input. If anyone has a favorite cookie recipe they want to share. But long story short, my grandfather, who I really loved, he was a huge part of my life. He passed away right before Christmas. And this fall, he had given me, he and my grandma, thankfully, grandma's still alive, they had a giant collection of cookie jars, and my grandpa really is the collector. And so they were talking about if you want a cookie jar, take one. So I picked one, and it was a duck with a blue ribbon. Don't tell me it's a goose because it's a duck. And he used to call me his ugly duckling for years and years and years. Me and 2 cousins, we were the 3 ugly ducklings. And so I just feel like, one, my resolutions of no drinking and no buying new clothes felt very challenging. And I think challenging is good, but it also felt very restrictive in some ways. So I wanted a resolution that's challenging, the time, the commitment, doing it, making time to do it, filming it, making the content about it. Because I do look forward to sharing them. I wanted it to be more of a joyful one. And um, having my grandpa's cookie jar and then having that fleeting thought during Christmas time before he had passed away, it just felt like a fun resolution for me to do to make a batch of cookies every week. I have the cookie jar to put them in. And I just made my first batch for the first week, the first full week of January today. And I made German chocolate cookies because German chocolate cake was like my favorite, one of my grandpa's favorite desserts. So I did it in honor of him. And I just think it'll be a good way to like work through grief, to do something joyful, to remember grandpa with the cookie jar. And I'm really excited about it because I do love cookies and I love sharing food as like a sign of love. So I can make cookies, if my sister sends like today I saw my sister and her suggestion of addition was oatmeal scotchies. I will make oatmeal scotchies when I'm going to be seeing my sister and I can share them with her or I can, you know, send to teachers. I can share with lots of different people and I look forward to that and I think it'll be just a great way to feel comforted and to not that I it sounds silly to say like remember grandpa because I'll tell you I've learned I think of it a lot. I think of him passing away frequently. So I don't need help remembering, but I think it'll be like I see the duck, I think of grandpa. It'll be like a healing thing. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to it, but making a batch of cookies, sticking with my devotional, like completing it. And again, if I end up doing 2 days on one day, I'm not worried about that, but just completing the devotional. Making a batch of cookies a week and 5 million steps. Those are my resolutions. And then the goals of being more in a rhythm for work and oh, strength training more. So I'm pretty excited about all of them. And now I can get into the comments. I still feel like I'm missing one. I'm looking at my notes to see if I'm missing something, but it's like sitting here in the back of my head. If it pops up, I'll let you know. Let's see here. Okay, so Valerie says, I want to start having a daily eating window of 2 to 7 p.m. I just wish there was a group or something for accountability to stick to it. Any ideas? I don't know of any. This is kind of thinking out loud, so I hate to say this. I have thought of having a Discord group, but I don't use Discord. I just have heard they're really good. I I'm not like familiar with Discord, but people could join and share photos, and it can be private. So you're not sharing, if you're sharing a photo of a scale to celebrate that you got under a certain weight, or you're sharing, asking for tips about diarrhea when you open your eating window, and you don't want the whole world to see it or see that you asked the question, having a private group like that in Discord, you can have private groups, um, is something I've considered. The thing that makes me nervous, one, it would have to be behind a paywall because that's it kind of limits people joining to spam or to I don't know. I'm trying to think. Not that I think people would join to make fun, but kind of that kind of stuff to shame people or to tell you it's an eating disorder or whatever. Um, and if people are willing to pay, $3 a month to join the Discord, they're going to just take it more seriously. There's just something like, the saying, you put your money where your mouth is. You're willing to invest in something that's important. And that way it keeps people from joining and not contributing. But really, then I feel like there's pressure on me to make sure that it's moderated and all these things that are kind of like, I don't even know about. Um, So I don't honestly right now I don't know of anything, but I have heard similar things in the past where and so it'd be like if you're in a membership on YouTube, it would give you access to the Discord is kind of what I'm thinking. But then and that gives everyone the ability to post their own pictures, to post comments, to reply to people. I could be in there. Um, and then so every day you could check in and say, "Hey, here's what I'm doing today. Wish me luck. Now I'm telling you, I'll report back on how I did." And then you know that you are going to report back to the group. I love that idea. Stevens used to be really active on Facebook and she moved off platform. I don't know anything about where she went, but she might like that might be a part of her community. I don't know. But I every time I see a comment like yours, like looking for a group or something or a way to connect with others, it makes me kind of want to make a group. It just feels overwhelming. But I like the idea of us being able to, because I can share as much as I want on my channel. You guys can't post photos or questions and the broad audience see it. You can post a comment, but if I don't see it, there's no way for others to see it unless they're specifically looking at that video for comments. So it's something I'm thinking of. I'm sorry, I don't. There probably are still other Facebook groups. I tried to starting a Facebook group and no one joined, or one person, so it wasn't very active. Let's see. Dreaming Cat Studio says, I'm grateful I've dropped 35 pounds and I'm looking forward to dropping the last 15. Fasting is an amazing gift and it's free. Absolutely. I absolutely love that about it. I love that instead of adding like expensive things, it takes away costs. A lot of people I know have joked that with fasting, you tend to buy nicer things like ingredients or quality because if you're only eating a little bit, you want the best of the best. I do kind of find that to be the case for some of the stuff I do. Like, I'm more willing to buy the dill Havarti. Because if I'm gonna have, open my eating window, I want it to be with a good cheese or, shelled pistachios, things that seem expensive. I'm like, well, if I'm only eating one day, it's worth it. But I think it is so nice. It's not supplement based. It's not, you don't have to join a program. You don't have to have this fancy calculator. You just eat and then you fast and it's simple. And I absolutely love that too. Congrats on losing 35 and I'm cheering for you for your last 15. Woohoo. Hello T. Hello. Says, hi Jackie, happy new year. Happy new year to you too. When you first started fasting, did you ever forget to start the timer on the zero app? Yes. Um, the you can, and if well, I guess it kind of depends. Um, you can always go back and like add a fast. If you have a rough idea, I would just go in and log it. I don't know how, but I somehow messed up my timer and it started I my fasting app says I have like 84 consecutive fasts, which is absolutely not the case. And I think it's because of something where I forgot or I messed up. But you can go back, so you can like start and stop and then adjust the times. I have the benefit of I record a lot of my first bite of the days, and then when I close my eating window, so I can reference my videos or my photos to get times if I forget. I definitely had forgotten. And then I go back and I add it or I adjust it. It's more likely that I will forget to start or to break my fast. And then when I go to say that I was done, I realize I never actually did it on here. So then I have to break my fast, adjust the time, and then start fasting again. That happens kind of frequently because I'll look at it and then I just never hit the button. I don't know why, but you can adjust it, which is nice. Dolores, hello in New Jersey. I hope you're doing well. Hello T says, I'm sorry for your loss. Praying for me and my family. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Matthew 5:4. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it has been a very new experience for me. I've lost great grandfathers and others that I have known, but no one that I feel so close to. And it's feels very sneaky. And so I appreciate your prayers. Valerie says, sorry for your loss. Your resolution sounds like a great way to continue to connect with his spirit. I absolutely believe so. And I'm excited. So the cookies turned out, I think, pretty good. And I'm excited. I haven't ate one because I was fasting when I made them. But Elsie, Kel, and Matt have had them and they all really like them. But it's funny because I thought, oh, I'll have to make sure I get over there and deliver some to grandpa. And that's where it feels sneaky because I know that he passed away, but I'm not used to him not being in my life. And I have had many thoughts of, oh, I'm going to text grandpa a picture of this. And it like feels like a gut punch. So it's really weird. But I am hopeful that this will help me feel connected. And yeah, just a way to even talk about him feels nice. Christine says, hi, Jackie. Can't join the live. I'm watching Green Bay Packers crush the Bears. I'll catch the replay. Matt is watching the same game. I'm glad to hear that the Packers are winning. That is hilarious. Hello, Patricia. Wald says, we'll be praying for you and your family as well. We lost a grandson at 13 last year. Much prayers for you sincerely. Oh my goodness. That sounds extremely awful. And I am so sorry to hear that. I don't even know how I would deal with that. I will be praying for your family as well. I appreciate you sending me your prayers. That sounds like a lot. And I was very grateful. My grandpa, he's 87 and had a huge life, and I was in mine for 38 years. And my feeling is there was never going to be enough time. And I'm sure that you had the same. So I'm very sorry. 13 is very young. And I don't want to cry on the live. Let's see. Valerie says, I would absolutely join a group if you made one. No pressure, though. Obviously, you have a lot on your plate. Well, thank you. I just one of the things that makes me nervous is if no one joins and then like 3 people sign up and then there's no one there and it's not helpful. There's so much that makes me feel like second guessing everything. But I do appreciate the input. That means a lot to me. C Shines says, hi, I'm grateful for recently making it through my first 82-hour fast. Kudos. And learning from a bad experience how to break a prolonged fast in the future. Tip, slow and easy and light repeating is best. Okay, so I would be curious if you want to share what you broke your fast with. I have never had personally a bad experience, but my first 3-day fast, I didn't consider what I broke my fast with, and I don't remember what made me look into it, but since then I am pretty mindful. So maybe I did have a bad first experience. I don't really remember. But I take a break. I eat something based on a video I have watched a million times from Dr. Fung, and I break my fast with either steak, avocado, steamed vegetables. Those are my big 3. And then I wait a few hours before I eat anything else. And it has been good for me. And I do try to limit sugar. But I definitely, after 82 hours, would not just jump into eating anything. If you want to share your specific experience, feel free. I don't know what this is. Oh. One thing that's new, and I see this right here, it was like flagging me to click on something. I can switch lives. I'm not going to do it today, but in the future, I think I probably will do this, and I'll list it as a perk. I can switch lives from being open to members only at the end, and I think I will probably end up doing that. I think it then gives a little more privacy. It gives those that are and I'm not saying if you don't pay, I'm not trying at all to get people to like feel like you have to pay, but if people have paid, they're definitely serious, and it kind of just is a way for you to be able to share maybe more openly on a live once it's behind members only, because the general public can't see it. Your boss can't be on YouTube and peruse and find it and see what you wrote because they're not going to be a member. Not that you'd write anything about your boss, but for whatever reason, that's what popped in my head. If anyone's watching this as a replay and wants to share their resolutions or goals for the year, I would love to hear them. It is always fun for me to think of things and to do things. And I really enjoyed sharing with you guys. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am going to be cleaning my office after this. I guess that's a short-term goal of mine. And that's going to help me start next week with a rhythm. So I have work to do to set myself up for success, but I'm cheering for you and your goals and your resolutions. And I hope you stick around. If fasting is a new goal of yours, welcome. I love fasting. I love food, and I like to encourage those on their fasting journey. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for watching. Ciao, Donna, ciao.